Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. Today we are going to talk about CPI. Ever thought about why your groceries feel pricier every year? It's not just your wallet crying, it's something called the Consumer Price Index, or CPI. Think of it as the ultimate price detective. It tracks how much we're paying for stuff like food, housing, transportation, and even healthcare over time. And spoiler alert, it's the superhero of inflation stories. So, how does CPI work its magic? Imagine thousands of price tags being collected from stores, restaurants, rental units, and practically everywhere you spend money. Analysts look at these prices, adjust for things like better product quality, and crunch numbers based on what people typically buy. Voila! A weighted average is born. But it's not just a fancy math trick, it's a tool for real-world decisions. Governments use CPI to shape policies. Employers use it to adjust wages. And even you can use it to understand why your paycheck doesn't go as far when inflation spikes. Sure, CPI isn't perfect. It misses things like rural spending and flexible buying habits. But hey, it covers 93% of the population, so it's still pretty reliable. Now, let's talk about its feisty cousin, core inflation. While CPI measures the price of everything, core inflation ignores food and energy prices to focus on long-term trends. Why? Because food and energy are a bit like drama queens, they're super volatile. Central banks, like the US Federal Reserve, prefer core inflation for steady policymaking. But when CPI rises, hold on to your hats, it means inflation's here to party. Higher prices squeeze consumers, cramp businesses, and even shake up the economy with interest rate hikes and currency swings. And while some folks, like borrowers and stock investors, might toast to inflation, others like savers or low-income households are left picking up the pieces. Globally, it's a wild ride. As of 2025, Argentina's battling jaw-dropping inflation at 193%, while the US inflation rate has cooled to a more manageable 2.8%. Post-2021 inflation was fueled by supply chain hiccups, rising energy costs, and labor shortages. But efforts to tame it introduced challenges of their own. So, how do we fight inflation? Central banks raise interest rates, governments trim spending, producers ramp up supply, and policymakers try to keep expectations in check. But it's a tightrope act pushed too hard, and you risk tipping into recession territory. Looking ahead, US CPI is predicted to grow slowly, reaching 320.14 points by the end of 2025 and climbing further through 2034. Inflation rates are expected to gradually ease toward the Federal Reserve's 2% target. But remember, forecasts aren't foolproof. Global events and policy shifts could rewrite the story. The bottom line? CPI isn't just numbers, it's the pulse of our economy. Whether it's shaping your budget or influencing nationwide strategies, understanding CPI gives you insight into the forces that shape your world. So, next time you see prices creeping up, you'll know exactly what's happening and maybe even why. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more knowledge like this. Like this video so that it will be stored in your folder for future access. For a limited time offer, we are giving away free stock investment masterclass. Find the link in the description below. Stewardship Finance Academy, turning you into a confident investor.